It's all over, guys. Trust me. Gojo versus Sukuna. According to Gojo himself, he's the strongest sorcerer in the Jujutsu Kaisen world, so ain't nobody defeating our boy. With Sukuna inside Fujiguro's body and turning ugly, we know things are going to be tough for Gojo. The debate regarding who's going to win the battle between Gojo and Sukuna has been going on ever since the series started. It's all happened way back when fans sensed a beef between the duo and started fantasizing about their battle. Well, the wait is over. The battle started in chapter 223, and in the latest chapter 232, fans discover Gojo's new powers. Let's dive into the details of the battle from the start till the end and find out the winner. Comparison of powers. Let's take a look at the breakdown of the powers of the strongest sorcerer in Jujutsu Kaisen for the Gojo versus Sukuna battle in the manga. We all know that Sukuna is not a human, he's a curse. So in terms of physical prowess, he could definitely overpower Gojo. So he has an advantage over physical powers. Sukuna also has godly speed and reflexes, along with a massive amount of cursed energy. I mean, it's natural for the King of Curses to have cursed energy inside of him. With this ability, he can perform any curse technique without even feeling any type of exhaustion up to the point. Aside from the curse technique, Sukuna has his own malevolent shrine, and the biggest catch here is that, unlike other domains, it doesn't have its own enclosement. Thanks to this shrine, Sukuna can execute any strike within a 200-meter radius to his opponents. Meanwhile, Gojo has limitless techniques, which allow him to manipulate space at will. Not only that, Gojo has some other abilities like Infinity, Reverse Curse Technique, and Domain Expansion. Gojo's defense is strong enough to not let anybody touch him anywhere. Basically, the dream of all introverts out there. Anyway, we all have heard about the Hollow Purple technique, right? Gojo revealed this technique in episode 20 of the series, which is a hand sign, bringing the concept of motion and even reversal into reality. It emerges from blue and red infinities that produce an imaginary mass, erasing everything in its way. An overpowered curse versus the strongest sorcerer. Do you guys think that Gojo Jujutsu's techniques are enough to defeat the bad boy Sukuna? We'll analyze some things from the latest chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen in which the battle commenced to get our answer. Battle scenario. Gojo is simply known as the ocean-eyed cutie pie, but let's not forget that he's also the strongest sorcerer. On the other hand, Sukuna is known as the king of curses, whose full potential isn't seen as he was limited to Itadori's body, who ate only a single finger at the beginning of the series. But in the story, Gojo also asserted that 20 fingers Sukuna could give him a hard time, but he'll win. So, could Sukuna really defeat Gojo? We'll find out soon. The battle commenced when Gojo came up with his sneaky move called Boosted Hollow Purple, which tore everything into shreds. He used up to 200% of his output to annihilate Sukuna in one go, with Itahime and Kiyotaka Ichiji backing him up. Gojo caught Sukuna off guard and landed Hollow Purple right on him. While he expected Sukuna to completely vanish from the story, we only temporarily lost and recovered quickly through Reverse Curse Technique. So if you want to use Reverse Curse Technique, be sure to smash that like button. The battle spices up when both sorcerers pass comments on each other. Gojo calls Sukuna a fish at the top of his chopping board. Talk about a way to insult someone. When Sukuna mocks Gojo for landing a surprise attack on him, it dives into hand-to-hand combat, resulting in the destruction of their surroundings. But both had the time of their lives, including the fans too, since it was a much-awaited fight. Soon, things started to heat up for real when a clash of domain expansion between the two sorcerers takes place and blew our minds. When their barriers overlapped each other and got cancelled out, so both sorcerers started fighting with their domains open. It was also stated that if their domains collapsed, the other user's guaranteed hit would strike the opponent instantly. And we all know that Sukuna's attack range extends to the outside of Gojo's barrier, so in this scenario, Sukuna could perform a quick slash attack, which almost beheaded Gojo. Moving on, things became worse for our boy as his domain was destroyed by the almighty Sukuna. But Sukuna also dealt with Gojo's attacks overwhelmingly, proving how strong he is once again. Gojo got severely injured but came up with a way to fight using the simple domain, which did buy him time, but Sukuna could heal himself up by using his reverse curse technique. When things got worse, then imagine Gojo attacks Sukuna with a red technique, destroying Sukuna's malevolent shrine. All of a sudden, Gojo gains the upper hand. In chapter 227, Gojo uses Infinite Void after getting crushed last time. The result stays the same, but he wants to try something different. Sukuna starts getting more familiar with his domain and can easily destroy it as many times as he wants. The desperation to kill Gojo is real. At the beginning of the series, Sukuna said that he was going to kill Gojo first. Coming back to the battle, Gojo suffers fatal cuts and goes for another domain with a small barrier. As the battle gets serious, Gojo takes advantage of the time he spent in the prison realm, which was the crux of Pseudo Geto, who wanted to seal Gojo's Satoru during the Shibuya incident. As Sukuna trashed Gojo's small barrier again, however, this time Gojo had planned something. As Sukuna breaks the barrier, Gojo instantly lands a massive blow, and the clash gets heated up. The two of them get in a hand-to-hand battle again, while Gojo wonders why Sukuna hadn't used his strongest technique, called the 10 Shadows technique, especially Mahoraga. Yes, he begins to question that just like most of us. In chapter 229, Sukuna gets stunned by Gojo's powers and uses the much-awaited trump card, Mahoraga. It's a big twist in the battle, but when Gojo planned to eliminate the general within a single move, Mahoraga made an entrance and adapted to the unlimited void. Sukuna falls on the losing side while Gojo is thrilled to be seeing the most uncontrollable Shikigami in the history of the 10 Shadows technique right in front of him. But at the same time, Gojo starts worrying about Megumi's soul since Sukuna took over it, which adapted to the unlimited void in seconds. However, Gojo starts using his domain expansion and something really concerning happens. His nose starts bleeding. Sukuna endured infinite void for less than 10 seconds, but like Gojo, his brain was damaged to the point that he couldn't expand his domain anymore. While Gojo suffers from a nosebleed, Sukuna also suffers from an eye bleed. The two of them just won't stop and start fighting with their fists this time. In the latest chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, the clash between Satoru and Gojo has confused the onlookers who have no idea what will happen next and who's close to winning. Sukuna uses Mahoraga to deal with Gojo's infinity. Meanwhile, our boy plans on winning before Sukuna can fully adapt to his infinity. The countdown to the climax of this much-awaited battle begins, but did you know another more dangerous event has occurred? Mahoraga has now adapted to Gojo's infinity and dealt some serious damage. He looks like he's at a bigger disadvantage than before, now that he lost his only edge against Sukuna. Gojo mentioned that he'll kill Sukuna before Mahoraga finishes the 3 spins on his wheel, which makes him adapt to infinity, but he seemingly failed to do that. But even now, he's still putting up a fight, and he was able to push Mahoraga into a corner. The only thing that Sukuna serves as the defense and saves Mahoraga from being liberated. Gojo, being the lunatic he is, jumped both of them, and Sukuna did something that no one expected. Did you know what it is? Sukuna summons another Shikigami, and it looks like it was as strong, if not stronger, than Mahoraga. What can Gojo do now? So, who's the winner? We will not only see Gojo's hand-to-hand combat skills, but also a few more techniques that he might use to defeat Mahoraga and the new Shikigami. The fight looks as if Gojo is about to be defeated since Sukuna called for more backup. But still, the author Gigi can surprise us in many ways and have our jaws touch the floor. As of now, Gojo is currently the only sorcerer in the Jujutsu Kaisen world who can defeat the demon and the king of curses, Sukuna. It will be game over for Sukuna if Gojo comes up with a new ability during the climax of the battle, or if Sukuna kills him first. All we can say is stay tuned to the manga and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one.